Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. What do we do with people who lie? Well, we call them out, right? And you don't trust them again. What do you do with people who lie and you have authority to, pass some punishment? Well, you punish them somehow, right? Yeah. If they don't lie, you reward them, right? Right. Now, what do you do when you hire someone and he's doing a poor job and then he's lying to you, telling you that he did a very good job actually, and you are just somehow, don't remember things right? What do you do then? Well, you tell him he's lying, you tell him he's a liar, and you fire him. Correct? Correct. Well, imagine that you have a public figure, a politician, an elected official who you hired by voting him in the office to represent you and your will, your desire, your opinions. He's over there to defend your rights. That's why he's over there. He's over there to make sure that you can pursue, right, happiness and all that. Correct? So now we have Joe Biden, who is asked a question about inflation and if he takes responsibility for it. And he doesn't. Remember, he's an elected official. He's a public servant. He's not a leader. He's a public servant. He's got some authority because you and I gave it to him, or not. But the population gave him that authority. That could be withdrawn at all times. But you can't, because he's voted in the office for 4 years. So you can't really get him out if he's not doing something illegal that could be impeached, or he's, losing his mind and he's not fit to be a president, or God forbid he gets in a coma or something like that. Then you can remove him under the 25th Article 25, right? All right, so in this case, let's see what the president of the free world, the leader of the free world, because we elevate these public servants to that level, and they really think that's what they are. They're our leaders, and they're the leaders of the free world. No, you are our representative over there, you are our employee over there, and you do actually what you promised us that you do. In this case, live a safe, better life, and you follow that constitution. That's what you do, okay? And you don't lie to us. All right, so let's go and see what's going on over here. So I picked this article from New York Post just to cover my behind, as my one of my previous bosses used to say, cover your butt, cover your butt. I said, well, if you cover your butt all the time, you're a coward, because you're going to be afraid to act. So then every time you say, well, I'm kind of covering my butt. Do you think that Magellan did that? Or others that, went around the world and tried to explore certain things, cover your butt? Anyway, this article comes from February 3rd, which is today, 2023. Biden fudges inflation data, says price spikes, and I'm quoting, already there, to shrink blame. All right, let's see. Washington. President Biden claimed Friday, which is today, that he doesn't bear, and I'm quoting, any blame, end quote, for high inflation because it was, and I'm quoting, already there, end quote, when he took office, despite official data saying otherwise. And now I'm quoting Mr. Biden. Do I take any blame for inflation? No, Biden said in response to a reporter's question after touting a stronger than expected January job report showing U.S. unemployment at 3.4%, the lowest rate since 1969. I will explain how that is. These are people who do not have a job and are looking, actively looking for it, are engaged in looking. There are some other people who are unemployed. I just look for that. I mean, I knew that before, but that 3.4 would be double if you take the people who would work, but they do not, they're unemployed, would work, but they're not making any efforts in the last month. You're out. So that, I think, would double based on the an article that I read, a few hours ago. And the journalist pressed Biden by asking, why not? And this is the leader of the free world. Because, and I'm quoting, because it was already there when I got there, man, the president claimed. Okay, very nice, very classy. And I'm quoting, remember what the economy was like when I got here? Jobs were hemorrhaging. Inflation was rising. We weren't manufacturing a damn thing here. We were in a real economic difficulty. That's why I don't. End quote. Now, this guy's bothered to, here he is, poor guy. I don't think he's poor, but I tell you. The Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index, the most commonly cited inflation gauge, showed annual inflation at just 1.4% when Biden took office in January 2021, before it soared under his watch to rates unseen since the early 1980s. So what is this 1.4? Why is it in red? Should I go there and see? Oh, okay, it's going to give me all the information. Thanks, but no thanks. So, let's move on. Inflation peaked under Biden in June 2022 with a 9.1% jump in the cost of goods and services over 12 months before cooling slightly to 6.5% in the latest data from December, which remains higher than at any point since 1982. In calendar year 2022, the inflation rate was 8%, up from 4.7% in 2021, 1.2% in 2020, and 1.8% in 2019. Before Biden's first year, the calendar year inflation rate hasn't topped 4% since 1991. Biden critics say that his massive spending over the past 2 years caused high inflation, though the White House has tried to blame other factors including COVID-19, supply chain issues, and the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Here it is. I show you the little Trump here, and then this is Biden here. I let this one go. So it was 9% in between March and July 2022. It was 9.1. I think he was still the president then, wasn't he? So anyway, is it true what he said? The inflation was already there when I got in the office, man. Jesus Christ. Anyway, the latest monthly job data showed a growth of 517,000 paid positions. It's necessarily good news for inflation and may reflect the Federal Reserve's largest interest rate hikes have failed to fix the problem. Okay, this is a different story with Biden. We have here whatever he claims that he did or he didn't do. The fact is that under his watch, things got shittier. So if I hire someone, in this case, I vote for this guy, I put him in the office as an employee of mine, he's working for me, and I hire him, and things go worse. His job performance in 2 years shows that is worse than it was before he came. What should I do after 2 years as an employer with this employee? And I tell him that, and he tells me back, man, your company was shitty when I came here. What are you talking about? And you showed him that little graph, okay? And what are you going to do? I tell you what you're going to do. You're going to show him the evidence if you're kind enough. But as a boss, you don't even have to tell him because you know that. And if he doesn't know that, I mean, he's not fit to be on that position. Besides, he is over there to do a good job. He didn't do a good job. Those numbers are not good job. That's not a good job. They're not good numbers. In 2 years, what are we going to do? As my university professors here in the United States of America told me so many times, work within the system. That means vote him out in 2 years. But how can you vote him out? Because there are certain people who really believe what he said. Yeah, the inflation was here when I got here, man. And not only that, it's always, sometimes is shooting yourself in the foot just because you don't like someone else. In this case, a good example is Ukraine example with Putin and the European Union, United States, and the sanctions. what the European Union did in with those sanctions, trying to hurt Russia and other countries in the process, including their own countries, worse than they hurt anybody else. Why? Because Putin is a bad dude. Okay, he's a bad dude. But what about your people? Is that better for them or worse? Don't tell me in the long run. That's the thing with the long run. It's always, that's a scenario. A scenario is something that you think would be. You can assess, but it's not there. It's zero. It has zero value. We don't argue on scenarios, because you can come with a scenario and I have the same right to come with a different scenario. And our scenarios could simply make made up stuff. Oh, Putin's going to invade it. No, Putin's going to come and give us candy and give us oil and gas for free and all that. What if my scenario? Well, because Putin is a bad dude. Yeah, but what in the meantime, Jesus Christ shows up to Putin and tells him, hey, my man, you're going to be a good man. Cling, and he becomes a good man. He's going to give us everything. You see, with the scenarios, you can bring any kind of stupidity in place and make your scenario. That's why when they talk about, it could have been worse or it could have been better, how do you know that? When they say, well, if I would, well, he got COVID, but he didn't die, or he didn't, he was not that bad, because he could have died if he wasn't, something. I say, how do you know that? It's a scenario. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. This is an elected official, remember. He's not our leader. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.